Ebro in the morning. Laura Stiles is on assignment. We got Rosenberg and we got Daymond John, the Shark Tank. But we talking black entrepreneurs, Dame. What up, Dame? What's happening?
What's up, man? Thank you for always giving me the support, man, the love. Thank you, man. All is good here.
Listen, I was gonna hit you up for a kickback, but you know, I seen what Bombas was doing, the sock company that we was talking about the last time we talked to you. I was like, listen, I need a loan, bro. What's going on?
They doing amazing, man. They've given away 100 million units to those in need and the shelters and stuff like that. So really amazing. I barely even talk to them, man, because if I call them, man, I may mess up the business, man.
Now for everybody listening, last time, I think one of the last times, maybe not the last, Damon came up. Bombas is a sock company. They have big plans. You actually, how many years ago was it you met them on Shark Tank?
Yeah, I invested. They were doing like $800,000 a year, which is great, right? I met them in Shark Tank, I think 8 years ago. We did the investment.
And now it's a $1 billion company?
Now they will hit $1 billion in total revenue sales combined over the years. But you know, we're giving away 100 million units. The numbers tend to not be as great as other people because they're more about giving. But absolutely, I mean,
but it's still very profitable.
It's profitable. I mean, you know what I think? I think I would call them the modern day Fruit of the Looms with a purpose.
I love that. Love that. Now, Black Entrepreneurs Day, November 1st. I know you've been creating and spearheading this movement with some other amazing people. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so I started it, and you supported it from day one. I started it back in the pandemic when we were watching kids burn businesses instead of building them. I just did exactly what I would hope everybody could do. I could just call up and do. I used what resources I had. So what did I have? I had, hey, Ebro, can you talk about this? Peter, can you talk about this? Shaq, can you come on and just talk about your failures? And Chase, can you help give away some money? So this is now the 4th year. Live at the Apollo. We filmed it a little earlier. We had live guests on this year. I mean, the head one was Whoopi Goldberg talking about all her challenges, from racial issues, woman being in Hollywood, being one of the only 18 people to ever have an EGOT, which is an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, for those who don't know. And then we had on there Ice-T talking about a lot of stuff from, Ice-T's funny, right? He gets a Walk of Fame star. He curses out everybody else. Him and Snoop get the only passes in the business, right? They can do whatever the hell they want.
Snoop was running around here smoking weed when it was illegal and nobody was taking him to jail.
Yeah, right.
He's a treasure.
Yeah, and I started talking about cop killer. Now he's actually literally the longest running actor and cop in history, right? How do you do that, right?
Police.
Yeah. And then we had on this Shaquille O'Neal, Carrie Champion, Sloane Stevens, Anthony Anderson, Cedric the Entertainer, DJ Irie, performance by Rick Ross. But we gave away another 200, maybe $250,000 to Black entrepreneurs as grants. And we're starting to see some of the first ones who won the first grant come back, like a young lady with Harlem Chocolate Factory who now is opening a store in John F. Kennedy International Airport. So it's just a good time and live at the Apollo Theater.
Now, we are living in a time, there's talks of scams and things and Ponzi schemes. And, there's also, we live in a time where the word billion gets thrown around a lot, right? We're hearing, hundreds and millions of contracts from sports athletes. And this one's a billionaire and this one has this many billions. And it's almost as if it's devalued the idea of making $1 million. And I maintain $1 million is a lot of money. Maybe not to you, Damon, because you've been making millions for a while, but for somebody like myself, $1 million, and I think to the average person, it is a lot of money. So when these entrepreneur conversations take place and the starting of businesses and all of these things, these aren't get rich quick schemes. This is work. This is effort, work, and actually putting in the grind and learning and understanding how to manage a business and grow a business, correct?
100%. I mean, I don't think you could have said it any better. When somebody, I'll give you an example. When somebody gets a grant for $25,000, because we've been so, desensitized by, million and billion, $25,000, right? If you were running a real business, and you're not going to make the same net, right? The profit, the takeaway, when you're first running a business, right? So let's say you were making an average of just taking away a good business runs and makes 20% profit, EBITDA as we call it, right? 25,000 free and clear in cash is almost a startup 3 years in what you would make, which would be 5% of your business. And that means you would have had to done $500,000 in business, right? Because 5% of that is $25,000. You would have to do $500,000 in business to clear $25,000 free and clear. Making $1 million is very hard. So if you want to make $1 million literally to your bottom line, to your pocket, you're going to have to do an average of $10 million for you to make 10% annually. So, this throwing around money, because there's difference, right? When a sports team is making a couple of $1 billion and gives a player $100 million and you think, man, $100 million is easy. It's not easy. It's extremely hard. And very few people, the 1% of the 1% of the 1% even get to that point.
I wanted to point that out because there's so many books, there's so many seminars, there's so many conversations. Yeah. And I don't think people really, I think people are out here, many people are out here working jobs and they're working very hard and they don't have much to show for it.
Correct.
And they believe that starting a business not only gives them some sort of freedom, right, away from the 9 to 5, they get to have input. Everybody wants to be a boss and all of this. But I don't think they understand the effort that it takes to walk home with money when you're running a business.
I mean, you know what? Listen, when you run a business, here's how it really goes, right? You're the first of the office. You're the last to leave. You got to listen to everybody else's problems, and you can't tell them your problems. You want to tell your employees, yo, I got these problems. They're going to quit. You got financial stress at home, and even if you make money, you got to put it back into the business. Listen, Robert from my show, I saw an article where I think about 4 years ago, he sold one of his Ferraris because he needed to make payroll. Now, I think he got a portion of his company sold for 6 or 7 or 800 million, right? But 30 years into a business, he still had to make payroll. It's a constant suck of cash, but that's what we try to teach people in Black Entrepreneurs Day, how to either start a business or you could be working in a company and you decide, like with JP Morgan Chase and T-Mobile, who are giving us, and Shopify, you can decide to invest. I think didn't Amazon double in the last year or something like that? Or
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. So you don't even have to start a business. You just need to know how to be financially intelligent. And that's what we try to do, is give people the money for their business, as well as educate people who are just working every day on how to put money in stocks and various other things. Listen, you got $100 deducted out of your payroll every single month from 18 years old to 60. That is worth about $1.7 million by the time you retire.
And you're talking Social Security.
No, I'm talking about you put it in the market. You have an account.
If you did that, you mean if you did
and
that.
You have a 100. No, Social Security is not going to even exist.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to ask you about. That I was like, I heard that's going away.
Well, let me give you another example, right? Even let's say you had $5 million in the bank, and both of your parents are elderly and they get sick, and you got to put them in a home where they need to get elderly care, right? Right now, if you got an insurance policy on yourself or them, if they were a little healthier, it's about $200 a month for a year, right? Per year. But if you don't have insurance for elderly care or various other things like that, well, the government's only going to give you $6,000 a month, and it's going to average out about $20,000 to $25,000 a month to put them in some place that is decent. So you can have $5 million in the bank, and if both of your parents is costing you around $50,000 a month. How do you think that's going to turn out if you just didn't understand that you can get insurance now for $200 a month because they're healthier, or and you know what the stat is, you're going to take care of your parents 2 times longer than they took care of you.
That's right. That's right. A lot of people ain't playing for that. We talk about that on the show. I've mentioned, and I become annoying because I've been talking about it for years. Like, do you have a life insurance plan? I was fortunate to have a friend who encouraged me to start one because he worked for a company. When I was 28 years old, I started mine. And I was only, like you said, I was putting $250. I didn't have a lot of money sometimes. Sometimes I had to lower it. Sometimes I could raise it up depending on how much money I'm making. But now I have a retirement plan. I've done the same thing for my daughter, right? Where she's got, my daughter already has a retirement and a life insurance.
There you go. And it's also an annuity in the event that you don't use, depends on how you work it. So
you can take loans from it, pay it back, etc.
Yeah, these are the things we're trying to teach. Money is something you've got to constantly learn, and it's not sexy when you invest. When you invest, you just put money away and you just keep putting it in there, and you turn around and it's a lot of money. It's not this, I'm going to be trading every single day. Yo, I'm buying this, I'm buying.
That's not for most people, man. All of that, all this being in the market every day. If you got a real 9 to 5, you do not have time to be online tracking stocks, paying attention to tickers with the financial news channel on behind you, trying to figure out when you're going to do your puts and your calls and play this short and all. You don't have time for that.
Nah, you have to do your job. No, you have to do your job, and do you know it, because you're going to end up getting got, So this is what we're trying to talk about, Black Entrepreneur Day, to give people this information and show people. When Shaquille O'Neal gets on there and talks about he didn't know what his FICA was when he first got his $1 million. He didn't know what taxes he needed to pay or all these things. And all this whole, the rich don't pay taxes and various other things. The same things can apply to somebody that's making, $20,000 a year. You put money in stocks and your stocks double. You put $1,000 in and it goes up to $2,000. You can take out what they call margin. And that means $1,000 of that can be used towards other things. And you pay a loan on that instead of paying taxes on that. And you got to go to your financial advisor. But then usually what people do is they buy more stocks with it. You do the same with real estate, buy more real estate. It's called leveraging. Now, I'm telling you, it's very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But the bottom line is anything that other people do, you can do as long as you know how to use it and use that information and the tax code.
Daymond's suggesting that you listen, read, maybe you come to and you watch this. Now, where can I watch this Black Entrepreneurs Day special?
No, excellent. Thank you, man. November 1st, you can watch it on blackentrepreneursday.com. We're streaming live, as well as I'm the Shark Daymond, at the Shark Daymond on any of the platforms at 7 p.m. And like I said, everybody there from Whoopi Goldberg to Rick Ross to Carrie Champion and giving away just a lot of money. And then the resources there, even though we're giving away the money, you can find out what Shopify and T-Mobile and JP Morgan Chase are giving as resources free, that you can go in and you can get these resources for your business or for yourself to understand how to invest, and it's free.
Now, go ahead, Rosenberg.
Well, no. If you're going to stay right here, Ebro, then go ahead.
Well, no, my next question was on the giving away money part, right? Like, what are you looking for? How do people understand how prepared they need to be to receive these grants? And are they grants or are these loans?
So these are grants. Thank you. You have to apply. We have closed the application now, but you can apply next year. Now, I want you to think about this. And when it comes to grants, and even I learned this as I talked to one of my grant winners. She said, what I learned when I applied to grants is just like selling to a customer. She said, I didn't just cut and paste. I applied for 40 grants and I won 4 of them because I customize it for each company that I'm doing, because what happens is a company really wants to feel special, like you understand what their initiative is. And I didn't cut and paste, and I told them why my business is worth it. Some want to know that you're creating substantial change. Some want to know that you're employing people. Some want to know that whatever, you are doing things that are good for nature. And she said, when you start applying for grants, you need to know what is it? Why is a person saying, I want to give money to whatever the community is? So don't cut and paste. And she's won 3 grants out of the 40 that she went after. And these are grants we're giving away. And our grants are because we believe that, and we hope that you're going to keep your Black business open. You're going to employ more people in the community. At the end of the day, you're going to create substantial change by doing that, period. So it's not about ideas. It's more about, we know that. And we've been able to keep, I think now we've given out almost $1 million in grants over the last 4 years, and we've been able to keep a lot of small businesses doors open. I think 2 or 3 of them are restaurants in Harlem And again, like I said, one lady's gonna now expand to JFK Airport, and hopefully expand to around the world. And they get to have mentoring sessions with me over the years, so I get to also help guide them.
That's very dope, man. Congrats on that. Thank you for that too.
No, thank you, brother.
Daymond, I want to another thing that's sort of inspiring about everything you're saying. It's not just
Brother, what the hell? How are you getting younger? What the hell? What's going on?
Thank you. You know what? I appreciate what you're saying.
Ebro, you tell me. Maybe it's the lights or something.
Now we got great lights, great lights,
great lighting,
great
lighting, and naps. But no, a thing that's always impressed me about your career is not just the business side of it, which is amazing, but the entertainment side that came along later.
Yeah.
How much of your life now is defined by you being a TV star versus being a businessman?
It's you know what? I think what I do is I look at my inventory, and now my inventory is this big ass head of mine, and I'm able to articulate how so many sharks like both of you are and I use my business acumen, which is a very simple everyday acumen, because I never did anything great in school. I barely finished high school, but I get to talk to people and they get to say, man, he's breaking it down in such a simple way. And so I would say that 50% of my time now is standing on public stages and trying to get more attention and trying to break through some of this, as you said, Ebro, some of this clutter of everybody talking about, this and that. The reality is real people who are putting out real products and businesses, they don't have time to talk about billions and this and that. It's only the people who are trying to hook you. They have nothing really to sell, and they want to sell you this pill to make you lose weight, or sell you this, or sell you that.
Quick fix.
And
everything's a quick fix. Do it
everything's
tomorrow.
a quick fix, and they're trying to sell you that and sell you a shortcut. Our parents told us there's no shortcuts.
We had a whole thing just the other day about this on the air, because I'm like, anything that is quick, that's promising you a big return, is likely fraudulent, because everyone would be doing it if it was real.
It's 100%. Everybody, when people stop talking about it, it's probably when you need to look into it, right? Because if it's not, people want quick fixes. That's just what it is, and it's sad. So even like now, if I want to tell somebody to have financial intelligence, of course I want you to look at blackentrepreneursday.com. But you know what else to do? Go on your feed. Follow 20 Instagram accounts that talk about money or stocks, whatever the case is. Do not buy any of them. Don't buy anything. Just put it on your feed. And after a year, you'll notice as you start to scroll and you start to see a commonality between them, you'll start to get more associated. Oh, by the way, I love Jim Cramer, Mad Money. He donated $25,000 grant. When I had almost lost all my money, I blew through $20 million. I looked at all the other athletes. They were broke. And I said, I'm heading for the same course as they are. I started watching Mad Money at, I think, 5 o'clock and 11 o'clock at night on CNBC. And I got financial intelligence because I just sat there and watched it every day for a year and a half. I didn't have to buy anything. I just started to understand what it was. Like you just said, you obviously understand it. Puts and shorts and all this other stuff. But I just sat there and absorbed the information. Nobody here has ever been successful in whatever they're doing, whether it's a nurse, an athlete, somebody who is a baker, without constantly just educating themselves slowly. And then you turn around, you're like, wait a minute, I know a lot about this stuff.
Now, Dame, you I want to dig in because I want to remind people the beginnings of FUBU, which I'm seeing a resurgence. Am I seeing this right? Because I'm definitely seeing, I believe I just saw Drake wearing a FUBU. Travis Scott, like it's now
SZA, Megan Thee Stallion, yeah.
Hello.
So it's now, are these vintage pieces they're wearing or new pieces?
They're both. We've done collaborations out there, so we have done collaborations, but they're also finding a lot of the vintage pieces. And you know what I find? There's a small amount of African Americans that generally wear FUBU. We're really big in the Philippines and Germany. And you know the three groups that I find that wear it a lot? It's the music artists who are trying to make a statement about where they're from, and they can buy anything. And they say, okay, you know what? I'm going to make a statement about this, right? It's a very, very aware African Americans about cultural, and they say cultural African Americans. They say, I want you to understand where this came from. And it's also the well-to-do African Americans who say, listen, I'll buy Louis here. I'll buy Tom Ford. I'll buy FUBU. And what they're doing is they're bringing awareness to a lot of the younger community. And shout out to Fat Farm and, and Rockwear and all the other brands that have come up with us. And it's making this huge resurgence, So, Drake wears it religiously. Matter of fact, I was thinking about saying, Drake, maybe let's do a collaboration. Listen, maybe he become the 5th partner of FUBU. You never know. So he's wearing it religiously.
Well, he hopefully watches our program still, other than to just be mad at me for something. But you know what I mean? Listen, this might be opportunity. This might be opportunity. But now when you started FUBU, you're in Queens.
Yeah.
And I know you've told the story 1,000 times, but
it's all good.
I think there's some nuggets I want to hopefully extract here. You had how much money in your pocket?
I had $40 and I made a couple of hats, 1989 Good Friday, 3:15 in the afternoon. And I stood outside of the Coliseum Mall and I sold $800 worth of hats off that $400. And I realized I had something, but I want to be very clear on this. I closed FUBU 3 times from 89 to 92. I ran out of money. My amazing partners, Keith, Carl, and Jay, came around in 92 and helped me. The story is I borrowed $100,000 from my mother. My house was worth $75,000, so I don't know how she got the $100,000 out of the house. Till today, I haven't answered.
Mattress already. It was in the mattress.
Yeah, right. But I had a factory, my partners and I, and the story really is I borrowed that money from my mother. But 3 months later, I was almost bankrupt and I was about to lose her house, her only investment, and be homeless and lose FUBU because just like I'm talking about a Black Entrepreneurs Day, I didn't know how money worked. So I was paying for my raw goods 90 days ahead of time. I was paying for my staff and I was paying for my machines. And I didn't know about banks like JP Morgan Chase to give factoring money. So the stores weren't paying me for 90 days.
Because you didn't have a credit line to back you up.
And I didn't know how to fill out this information. And that's the point, right? So this glamorous story of Daymond John, he did this and that. No, Daymond John almost lost everything in his mother's home and would have been homeless. And then once I made money, out of the $20 million I had, I lost it all because then my ego got a hold of me and somebody would tell me, hey, listen, let me financially tell you what to do with your money. I was like, how much you get paid? He was like, I don't know, $150,000 a year. I said, you need me to help you, homeboy, because you own it, and so I didn't realize the people in finance, they went to college and universities and they understand these things. Maybe they don't make as much, but it's almost like a person who is a coach coaching Michael Jordan. That person can't dunk like Michael, but he sure can tell Michael how to dunk. So it was a lot of foolish mistakes I made. I guess they say the first half of your life you live for your ego, the second half you live for your soul. And I didn't really understand it at that time. I made a lot of stupid mistakes, and I don't want other people to make those mistakes.
How in your experience, when you have a business and a startup business, how much how many years of of invoices and expenses do you need to show a bank before you can get that relationship to open up a credit line for your business? How long does that generally take?
First of all, and this is what I learned from JP Morgan Chase, what you should do is, I didn't never walk into the bank when I first started my business because I didn't think I had enough money, and I felt like I didn't belong there. So I went right next door to the check cashing place and I spent about 6% cashing all of my checks. And you know how this small percentage is huge at the end of the day. You should go into the bank now when you open a business. Why? Because they want to catch the Daymond John before you're Daymond John. And
that's a gem. That's a gem. Listen to what he's saying.
Yeah, because that's why the banker is sitting there, because they don't know if you're going to be the next, whatever, Logan Paul and just blow up one day, blow up really quick. And they've heard the problems that you think are unique to you. They've heard that 10 times that day, right? So they want to catch that, because even if that business fails and you go back to having a regular job, they want to have that relationship with you and loan you money for a house. Right. You also want to build your business credit. You know what we all would do? We all put it on our personal credit card, and we end up funding the business for 10 years in on our personal credit card. So you have to start early and get a relationship with a banker. Anything is about relationships, and bankers can clear a lot of money. They can also say, hey, you know what? I know this young man, and you know what? By the way, we're sponsoring something called whatever that program may be, Black Entrepreneurs Day. You know what? You should apply there. But you wouldn't have known that they even existed because you're so busy hustling. Maybe you didn't follow Daymond John or listen to something else. So it's really important about getting that relationship with your banker early. I mean, Ebro, how many times you guys have seen little small startup companies outside and you're like, listen, man, you're not ready for the show yet. You probably couldn't even take in the orders or whatever if I put you on the air and 5 years later, you're like, you're ready now.
That's right.
Because I've been talking to you.
Both music, somebody will record a song last night. Oh, play this tomorrow. I'm like, but how can people go get it though? Yeah. Like you're not even set up to do business yet.
Yeah, but it's great
when you hear your name shouted out, but you're not really set up to monetize the moment.
Same as people saying, I want to go on Walmart or, like going into Lowe's, another great partner of ours. And Lowe's says, listen, you really think you can take a $10 million order from us? Or can we put you online and you see if you can just do that at the moment, right? It's all about taking these affordable steps in business. And that's what happened because, most businesses really fail in their first 3 years. Even Bombas, who was on Shark Tank, who got millions of people seeing them, they didn't get into their rhythm until 4 or 5 years in. It used to take about 7 to 9 years for a business to really start getting into their rhythm. Now with social media and all these great things and assets we have, now it's about 5 years. But you need to still put in that time. It takes a while for these things to really catch.
There it is. Daymond John, Black Entrepreneurs Day, November 1st. Once again, where can people watch?
You can watch on blackentrepreneursday.com, any of my streaming platforms. I'm on Facebook or Meta or all these platforms at The Shark Daymond. My name is spelled like Raymond, but with a D. And yeah, man, I got to thank you guys both for all of you for always supporting us, man. I mean, you're the voice of hip hop and New York City, man. And I love so much how you always just step up for me. I really appreciate it.
No, it's love, bro. And I haven't even asked for a loan or you to support a business.
We haven't even hit you up for a favor yet. Just wait.
Yo, wait till we come with these proposals, bro.
Yo, man, I'm here, man. Listen, man, that's the thing about in business, man. A lot of people don't realize Carl and I helped me. People don't talk about how we help each other in business. They always think everybody's a competitor. I put the president of Sean John over to help Puff. I distributed Russell Simmons in Europe. People don't talk about that, and you have always supported me, man, and I really appreciate it. I'm here for you guys.
And Rosenberg wants to come on Shark Tank. He's got a great idea. Run it, Rosenberg. Hit him.
Wait. I'm not prepared, Ebro.
You don't have your elevator pitch? We went over this,
bro. I'm not prepared right now.
You're supposed to be ready. This is the moment right here.
No, that's my problem. That's my failure, Dame. That's where I need your help.